Yo, what's going on, guys? Teacher TM's here. Edit the suit and tie. Yeah, welcome to class, honestly. So this video is going to be a full detailed guide to Orb Devo. Orb Devo is such an important build, honestly. I want to give you guys this video and basically give you all the information from literally what the requirements are, when you should switch, how to modify and upgrade your build depending on your tower, give you guys different ideas, literally everything. It's going to be a complete masterclass of Orb Devo for you guys. There will be a second part after, and it's going to be going through my current build, which is Orb Devo with the wall. So this video is more for pre-wall, but honestly, there's not much that changes with the wall. It's just that, yeah, keep it short. But second video will be coming out with my specific build with the wall. Now, so during the intro and what you guys have been watching, that will be Orb Devo footage in case you guys don't really know what Orb Devo is. So essentially the objective of Orb Devo and what it is, the strategy itself, basically what you're doing is you are trying to collect on your screen while you're waiting for your black hole and golden tower cooldowns. And I'm going to start referring this to in the video as the golden trio. So keep that in mind if I say that. Basically, you're trying to trim out and stockpile as many tank enemies while your golden trio is about to go, so that when it does, you're killing with all the multiplier the most tanks, which give you the most coins. So the way the strategy works, and you can look in the gameplay that is running right now and in the intro, your shockwave is pushing out the tanks, and then it's letting in the basic and the fast into your tower, and then your tower's killing it with thorns, and then rinse and repeat. Basically, what you're doing is you're optimizing your coins that way with your coin bonuses from the ultimate weapons. I would say Orb Devo is what you would use after Blender. So like, as we know, when we start the game, we start with a Blender build. Now Orb Devo is now your next step, and it's also, but there are requirements to it. So I'm going to go through the requirements right now. I'm an anti-start Orb Devo early type of guy. I think that you can go very far early game farming tier 1 in Blender. I would not recommend Orb Devoing in tier 1. I think that maybe towards the end of your tier 1 journey, you can start the Orb Devo, but by all means, I think Blender early game is actually going to outperform Orb Devo, especially a not properly constructed Orb Devo. So with that being said, let's go over the requirements. I will have graphics on the left side of your screen as the video goes on, alongside with the gameplay and just other things I'm talking about. So feel free to, take screenshots or follow along with the text on the side. I also will be linking down in the description. It's an Orb Devo written guide that I actually used when I was switching to Orb Devo for the first time, like 4 months ago at this point. So I do have a lot of experience with Orb Devo. But yeah, written guide in the description for you guys too, if you want to follow along with that and the video. I do think that I'm going to be giving you guys more tips than the guide itself, because I'm going to be giving you guys an optimized version and explain everything thoroughly for you guys in the video. So intro aside, let's hop right into the requirements for Orb Devo. I said earlier that I think that rushing into Orb Devo is not smart. So the first obvious step is you need black hole and golden tower synced. What we mean by synced, whenever people say synced, all that means is that your golden tower cooldown here and your black hole cooldown here are both the exact same. There is a caveat to that. If you do get lucky enough and you pull a multiverse nexus, which is right here, what it does, it will sync everything together. I would still say, out of my own experience, do not rely on multiverse nexus if you don't have to. So even let's say you get lucky and you have MVN, I still think you should try to get a natural sync, because that's going to open you up to Prim C or other things later on. It's MVN is just a shortcut, and then at the later stage of the game, it becomes like meta after. But early to mid game, it's basically just for as a shortcut, in my opinion. So that's the first requirement. So I'm a huge advocate to start Orb Devo only when you have the extra black hole lab maxed out and also the black hole damage lab maxed out. And one more thing that goes alongside with that, your black hole duration should be 25 seconds minimum. Not in the workshop because there is the plus 12 perk, 12-second perk, right, in run. So that means minimum duration you need is 13 seconds because then with plus 12, that will equal 25 seconds. The reason why, protectors, guys, that means if you have the maxed out damage lab and 25 seconds, you will be doing 50% of the protector damage each time your black hole goes. And then on the second wave, your protectors will die. Also, thorns will kill the protectors sometimes. But truly, your Orb Devo is just not going to work properly if you don't have those requirements. Now, I would say black hole size with module substat doesn't matter. 40 meters, you can probably get away with 38 meters, but you want at least, I would say, 38 meters in your black hole size. Basically, you need the black hole, and then you will see it in the gameplay. It needs to suck in all the enemies from your tower. So whatever range that you need for that to happen, it's a requirement for Orb Devo, okay? Garlic Thorns should be maxed at this point as well. And yeah, a lot of people recommend and give you guys a number, and that's also a question always people ask is, what lifetime coin should I be at to switch to Orb Devo? I think that question's honestly not important. Just get the requirements that I'm saying here. It does not matter what your lifetime coins is, you will be okay. So, but for a rough idea, I think it will take you around 100 billion coins, I would say. I started Orb Devo when I got to 300 billion, and that was because it took me a while to sync my ultimate weapons. So next we're going to go through, not I would say requirements, but honestly get these right away as soon as you can if you're going to Orb Devo, because they're almost like requirements to me. I honestly think you should be fully prepped before you Orb Devo, because I do think Blender is sometimes underrated and people put a lot of pressure to get out of Blender build, and early game it's not really that important. It's just once you're ready for Devo the proper way, I would say then switch to Devo. So another thing I'll say is the extra orbs card must have for Orb Devo, but also the lab for extra orbs, I would say at least get one level into that, but also try to max it out. And also you will need the extra orb adjuster as well. Those two right there, I would say, are pretty much requirements. Death Wave and Spotlight are not needed. I actually still don't have Spotlight, but they will help. Even the Death Wave, obviously you want to sync it to your Black Hole and Golden Tower, but you can start Devo without having your Death Wave synced. But try to get it synced, because then you're going to get an increase in coins with all that synced. Speaking of syncs, Goldbot sync is going to help you immensely for Orb Devo. Now, if you do use Gcomp, so if you guys don't know what Gcomp is, it's another module. It will affect your syncs, but it will lower your cooldowns for the Black Hole and Golden Tower. You got to just do your testing, okay? I can't say in the video what's going to be better for your account. It all depends, but test a synced Goldbot or Gcomp. Test it, and also don't get to the point where you can't sync your Goldbot, because you never know. You might think your Gcomp is going to outperform it, and then you're going to try, syncing your Golden Bot, and it's going to be better. So always keep it available to you. If you have any questions on that, you feel free to ask in the comments, but I can explain further. But yes, always try to test that out. It's going to help you a lot. The reason it's called Orb Devo is because you're devoing, basically erasing things out of your workshop. So we're going to spend a lot of time in the workshop here. You can really get it wrong, so you do need to respec your workshop. All right guys, so I'm going to respec. We're going to pretend that we're respecing with you guys, so follow along. I'll explain along the way. You guys won't have enhancements most likely by this point, so that won't be important. Now, Devo requires you not to kill enemies, so you do need to Devo your damage. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the workshop, I do want to explain this concept. So if you're going to value your tournaments, Devoing is going to affect your tournament runs a little bit. I don't think it affects it too much, but you have to keep in mind that now in your tournament runs, you're going to have to spend extra cash to get to the point that your old build was at, you know? In terms of damage, in terms of free upgrades and everything. You'll understand what I'm saying. So there's always a give and take when you're doing the Devo. First, we're gonna show you guys like the pure Devo, and then I'm gonna also explain to you kind of what I did to help my tournaments. There's certain shortcuts you can take in the Devo, I think, that will affect your farming a little bit, but at the trade-off of increased tournaments. So you have to play a balance, but so like I said, we're going to start with just the pure Devo, and then I'm going to show you guys certain things that you can do to help your tournament. Damage, I would say don't go like 0 damage. I would still probably go to, you know, I believe I went to 500 damage when I started, so in the workshop. So we're going to go to 500 here. You can try that out. Basically with damage, just try to see if you're killing things like for a long period of time. Guys, in your farming runs anyways, the first like 1,000 waves, you're not really getting a lot of coins anyways compared to when you have your perks and everything. So the first 1,000 waves isn't really important in my opinion. So push your damage as high as you really want. Just don't kill your Devo. That's the only thing. Guys, attack speed, I would say just max out your attack speed, because it's going to help you in tournaments. But some people can recommend you like do 50%, like to, you know, like 50. I will say max out your attack speed. Really, just believe me on that. So critical chance and critical factor are good to go. You can max these out or take them as high as you need. I'm going to gloss over range, and then at the end of the attack tree, we're going to talk about range. Damage per meter, same thing. Just take it as high as you can. So for the multi-shots, the way that's, in my opinion, the smartest thing that you can do, keep your chances at 0%, but you can max out the targets. Same as for like rapid fire. So the percentage of rapid fire, 0%, but the duration you can max, and alongside with the bounce shot. The reason we do that is because now, so you have half of it upgraded for your runs in tournament, but then like in your farming with the 0%, it will not actually do multi-shot or rapid fire or bounce shot. Super crit doesn't matter. If you have it or not, it doesn't matter. All right, so let's talk about the range. Huge debate on Orb Devo is range. I personally just maxed out my range. No range card and no lab, so 69.5 range. For me, it works perfectly. Like I said at the start of the video, with black hole size 40 meters, you will be good with that. But before you actually finalize it in your workshop, I would say like the first time you're demoing, keep your range at 0 in the workshop and try to test out the highest possible range for your black hole, because I do think that the higher or the bigger range that you can do actually will be better for your survivability in runs. So that is all up to your testing, and I will show you in run what I mean, how to test that. So yeah, for now, keep your range at 0 and a full Devo. So now EHP, there's a lot of things about this, but first off, for your health and health regen, just take it as high as you can, because anything for survivability is going to help you out. Defense percentage, max that out. Defense absolute, all up to you, how high you want to put it. Thorn damage, we're going to skip that for now, and then at the end of the health tree, we're going to talk about it, and then also explain it in run, because this is a crucial part, and there's a lot of tweaking that you can do with thorn damage. Lifesteal, you're going to max it out. Knockback, important to not have knockback, guys. So knockback chance, 0%. You can max out the force, but you have to keep the chance at 0%. Orbs, another thing that you're devoing. The orb actual number, workshop orbs, 0. The orb speed, max it out, because that's actually gonna help you out with your extra orbs card. You do want high orb speed. Shockwave, another thing. We're gonna tweak and run and show you guys how it works, and you gotta figure it out on your own account. I will be explaining that too. That is another thing you're not gonna upgrade. Shockwave frequency, max that out, because you actually want that to happen, and you will see the way it works. Landmines, it can affect your Devo because of the damage, but it's all up to you. It's really a minimal thing. Eventually in your farming runs, your damage is going to be doing nothing anyways, so your landmines actually can benefit from the landmine stun card, if anything, for your survivability. So you can do whatever you want with the landmines, not very important. So I forgot to do it. I would set your range and your shockwave in the lab to 0 for Devo for sure. Okay, so let's talk about the thorns. As we all know, there's some levels to thorns. So the way, if you want to micromanage the build, you can put the workshop to 5% thorns. I never played it this way because I don't like to micromanage. So basically the optimal way is you start at 5%, and then as your run continues, you will learn to see like, okay, I need to now trim the basics faster because more enemies are coming, so I want to trim the basics faster. Then you increase your thorns to 10% because now that's one less hit, all the way up to like 33% usually is where you will land, because that way you're killing things in 3 hits for the trim. In the workshop, I would say, for peace of mind, I would recommend going to 15%, 16%. And then in run, you're going to increase it. But at least for a starting base, I would say for me, what worked was 15%. And then especially like if you're getting lazy, you can increase that more if you don't want to have to micromanage it. Same thing for shockwave size. I would not touch it until you're in run, and we're going to do testing and you can test along with me. Utility tree, this is important too to Devo, so pay attention to this. Cash, just max it out. Coins, you just max it out too. Upgrade chances, very important thing here. You need to Devo all the free upgrades. You cannot have free upgrades to Orb Devo. We're going to keep it at 0%. The reason why, obviously, is because if you do free utility upgrades, then it's going to give you free defense upgrades, and then it's going to chain into messing up your knockback and messing up your thorns. So no free upgrades. And that is why, ultimately, it affects your tournament runs, is because you have to now max that out in cash. But it's okay. Interest, you can max out. Recovery packages are very helpful for you, so take these as far as you can as well. Same for enemy level skips. Take it as high as you can. It's just going to benefit you, especially enemy attack level skips if you have it unlocked. Just total benefit. That's pretty much it for the workshop, guys. Follow with that. Like I said, we're going to hop into run now, and we're going to explain the shockwave and the thorns to you guys. That is the only thing that is up to discretion. So let's hop into the run, and we can go through that with you guys. So the first thing I want to cover with you guys is, as you can see, crucial card that you need to be running is extra orbs card. You have to have that on, because that way, and then the adjuster here, you're going to actually bring your extra orbs to inside your tower range. So that's why I would say, as you can see right now, the range being at 30 meters is already not good. We're going to increase this to 50 meters, let's say. And then we're going to adjust our orbs to inside. Basically, what you want is your extra orbs to be going right into the middle of your black hole. That is how you're going to maximize your kills in the black hole. So that's what you need to see. You need to see where your black hole is, kind of how big it is, and you want it to, if you can see my mouse cursor, it needs to overlap your tower in order to Orb Devo with your black hole. I found that maxing out your range is the best, and that's what I'm going to do in the video for you guys. But just make sure your black hole is, like you can see, is covering my whole tower right there. We're going to go there to range, and we're going to max out that range. And then we're going to go extra orbs adjuster, and we're going to bring that into 60 meters. So what you're gonna see now, all of the enemies that I get sucked into my black hole are now gonna get hit by these orbs right here. See the extra orbs? So it's hitting the enemies in the black hole, and also minimal enemies are dying like through the orbs as they're going in run. So that is range. Play around with it. I recommend maxing out your range in the workshop if your black hole is big enough. Now, let's talk about the shockwave next before thorns. So shockwave size. As you can see, what is happening, it's my shockwave's going, it's gonna push out tanks that come onto my tower, and it's gonna bring the basics because they move faster onto the tower to take out the damage. So the only thing that matters about your shockwave size is you need to make sure it's not pushing enemies into your extra orbs. So I'm going to go up a little bit gradually, and we're going to see how far it pushes back the enemies. So 0.70 for me is still not enough. I do want it to be a little bit more than that. So let's go to 0.80, see what happens. 0.80, that was a decent push, but let's pay attention to the outer layer of enemies and see where it lands. So the enemies are still fairly in my range. I'm going to go up to 0.90 and see what happens. Okay, that's what you kind of want to see right there. Pay attention to the knockback of my enemies, and let's see if we can get like a tank on there, and so we can show the effect of it. But if essentially it's gonna push the tank back, and it's gonna replace the layer around your tower with basics. That is what you want. You want to see that. So what I would do if I'm you now, after testing your shockwave size, I would write that down or just remember it, and then next time in run or end your run, I would just lock in your workshop to that range for shockwave size. So when we go back to the workshop, I'm going to go to 6 on my shockwave, and then I'm going to forget about it. That way you don't have to mess around with it in run. You're going to be good to go every time. Thorn damage, let's talk about it. As you can see, with a low thorns, I'm not killing much right now. And I am early on into the waves, and when you get into higher waves, you actually want to be killing the basics quicker, because you just there's an enemy cap. So basically, I forget the total amount, but at some point on the active enemies, it will stop spawning new enemies, which means that you're gonna not be killing basics quick enough, and then you're gonna be losing out on tanks for your sync. So what I did for me personally, because I don't like to micromanage that, I just want to like start my run and forget about it, I would go right to 33%. Why? Or 34%. I think I did 34 in my workshop. Why, you might ask? At the end of your farming run, or not even the end, by the midpoint where you're getting your perks and all your coins, this is the thorn damage you're gonna need anyways. I do not care about the early part of the game in the run. First like 200, 500 waves, it does not matter. You don't have your perks. The enemies aren't spawning quick enough. So if you want to be lazy, go to your workshop and put your thorns to 34%. If you want to be more optimized, I would say 20% or 25%. As your run increases, you're going to go up to 34%. But that is how thorns works. It's very self-explanatory. You do need thorns though for bosses as well. But as you can see, like what changed right in the gameplay. Now I'm not getting enough enemies spawning on wave 63 to sustain my thorn damage. So that is why like people say optimized, you want to have a lower thorns. But believe me, if you want to just do it a lazier way, you'll be more than fine doing thorns 34%. But try it out, and that's just a recommendation from me. Guys, other than that, in run, now you are set for Orb Devo. Just spam the hell out of enemy attack level skip whenever you can. You know, max out your recovery packages. But that is it. It's very simple in the run. Your workshop now should be set up. We're gonna hop into the cards, the modules, and your perks. And then also I want to just quickly kind of talk about how we can upgrade from here on, right? You are ready to Orb Devo. If you followed along from this point in the video, you are ready. So let's hop into the cards here. Very self-explanatory for cards. You want health regen, you want your cash, you want your coins, you want enemy balance, you want defense, no free upgrades, you need extra orbs, plasma cannon. If you have an extra slot, I will not say it's critical. Critical coin, wave skip, wave accelerator if you have it. Those are I would say the mandatory perks. So ideally 10 card slots. You could probably get away with 9. If I was to drop anything out of this list, I would probably say health regen, but try to get 10 card slots. I think you would be good with that. Now, if you have any extra card slots, you can go recovery package chance. You could go, like I said, plasma cannon. Landmine stun will help you. Second wind can help. And that's about it. I guess intro sprint. Those are the cards. You don't want any damage. You don't want anything that's going to affect your Devo in any way. Demon mode can help also if you want. Not very crucial. Cards are very simple. 10 card slots, maybe 9, maybe 8 you can get away with, but I would recommend 10. Talk about modules. Modules is tricky because at this stage of the game, it all depends on what you have available, right? Let's start from the cannons. For Devo, what you're going to do with your cannon is you're always going to run it at level 1 because you do not want the tower damage bonus for your farm runs. So level 1 cannon, honestly, just use any cannon except for death penalty. That is going to lose you coins. Now, for the armor modules, Wormhole Redirector is the ultimate free wall armor. If you have this, use it. It's going to be amazing for you. Other ones that can help, basically highest rarity, I guess, at this point. I would not recommend Orbital Augment. Sharp Fortitude just doesn't help you, but if it's your highest rarity, use it. ACP, same thing, if it's your highest rarity. Literally the only armor I would say that's going to help you if it's a lower rarity than your highest probably would be Wormhole Redirector. For generators, it's like I said earlier, if you have access to G-Comp, test it with the Golden Bot Sync 1-to-1. Obviously, if you don't have Golden Bot Sync yet, I highly recommend working towards that. But if you don't have the sync with it, G-Comp is just going to be better. It's going to lower your cooldowns, making your Devo happen more often. PhD, unfortunately, you're not running free upgrades, so it won't really help you at all. Also, Harvester will help you, not in terms of the coins, but at least a little bit in terms of survivability. And Singularity Harness will just help your gold bot. So whatever you have available to you, try to use it. Project funding and restorative bonus, no-goes, they do damage. Now, MVN gonna help you sync if you need to. If you already have a natural sync, do not use MVN because it's actually gonna increase your cooldown. Unless you have like Mythic. Dim Core doesn't really matter. With the core, it's based, well, Primordial Collapse, if you have it, is gonna be the best option for you. But also keep in mind, if you have, let's say, a legendary or a mythic available to you that's not Primordial Collapse, it might be better because of the substats. So let's quickly just talk about the substats on all the types. Cannon, it doesn't matter. Irrelevant in your Devo. You want defense percentage and you want health regen. Orb speed can help you, but those are the main two that you're going to want on the armor. For your core, you want to have enemy attack level skip, and then coins per kill bonus. Other than that, you do not want for any free upgrades, obviously. And max recovery can also help you as a third option. And for the core, I highly recommend you use Golden Tower bonus. If you need to, either black hole size or black hole duration if you need it to get to the 25 seconds. Those will also help you. And if you're using death wave quantity is also going to really help you in terms of coins. And that's it for modules. Very simple. If you have any module questions, leave them down below. I'd be happy to help you out in the comment section. And the last thing I want to cover with you guys is the perks. I don't want to go too in depth in the perks, but there are certain banned perks that you're going to have. So here is my order anyways, in terms of priority for you. So feel free to copy my priority if you want. It's a little bit subject, but ban perks, let's go over this. So you need to ban free upgrade chance. You're gonna also need to ban extra orbs right here. So that's 2 ban perks right away that you have to have if you're gonna Orb Devo. I would say enemy speed for damage would be the first like optional ban perk that I would recommend. Then ranged enemy attack distance. This one is also another one I would ban. You can. The power health regen and lifesteal. It's pretty bad. Also, it can end your run. The cash per wave, that's just a quality of life one. I actually should take that out of my ban perks, and I'm gonna put orbs. That's all for the perks. Very simple thing. So that's it for the perks. That's it for the Devo. Now, if you're still watching this video, it's gonna be a long one. I get it. I want to just give you OG, you guys who stuck around in the video and you're at this point, a hidden tip. So something that I did with my account when I was back in the Orb Devo days pre-wall, there are certain things, and I alluded to it at the start of the video, that you can do to kind of cheat a little bit and be lazy on the Devo front, but increase your tournaments. So I'm going to show you those tips right now. So what I did, I actually maxed out my free attack upgrade. Okay. Right? Reason being, now I don't have to worry about that in tournament runs. The negative side of this, obviously, is that you're gonna hurt the early stage of your Orb Devo, because eventually you're gonna get to the point in your farming run where you actually do 0 damage to the enemies, right? Especially if your damage is low. But it's gonna hurt a little bit at the start. Your Devo will start at a higher wave by doing this, but it's a good trade-off. Trust me. You can try it out. It's a good trade-off for your tournaments. Another thing that I did, because these are expensive cash-wise in tournaments, and they're also crucial to the blender build. So I actually put my multi-shots, like all my chances here, to about halfway, to like level 50. So, well, I did 60 there, but yeah, I would do to like level 50 on these. That way in run now in tournaments, you can max these out in a fraction of the time and use your cash in better areas, right? So that's tip number 1 on the lazy front. Next tip, I kind of alluded to it. I put my thorns right to 34% in the workshop. Basically, my Orb Devo would start around like 700 to 800 waves with this strategy. And if you guys like know about the game, the first like 1,000 waves, you honestly aren't making a lot of coins anyways. So I think it's a fair trade-off, and it makes your life a lot simpler. So, and then I also, like I said, in your testing, I did 6. I found 6 as my number. Put that in your workshop. So that's tip number 2. Skip the tedious part and just do thorns damage and shockwave to your farming level. That is pretty much it, guys. It's a lazier version of the build, but it's honestly gonna just help you in tournaments. So I think it's a good trade-off, and that's like all I have for you guys. I think this is gonna be like a world record long guide on a build before. I hope it's I'm gonna try to make sure that it's structured properly for you guys. And if you guys have any more questions and you stuck around through the whole video, I super appreciate it. Let me know in the comments how it's going. If you have any tips, advanced tips, maybe I didn't cover questions, like I said, feel free. And yeah, so guys, thank you all for watching. That is the Orb Devo guide. Part 2 will be coming out. It's going to be with the wall, my current build, and yeah, good luck on your journey, guys. Honestly, don't rush into Orb Devo if you're pre-watching this, kind of like to know what's going on in your account. Make sure you meet my requirements. I honestly highly recommend it. Do not rush into it. You're just going to lose coins that way. It's no rush to get into Orb Devo, honestly. Kind of overrated early game. Super overrated early game if you don't transition at the right time. But yeah, I'm still rambling. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Feel free to, you know, support the channel by just literally by subscribing and liking the video. Appreciate it, everyone who does that, and even if not, just watching right now I appreciate it. So we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and peace out.